Thank you for joining us here on UK Theme Parks today. We are at Blackpool Pleasure Beach for an off-peak day, or fingers crossed, an off-peak day at the park. We came during the summer, it was busy as, really busy with long queues around. Yeah, gutted, absolutely gutted. We didn't get on everything we wanted to get on. However, today, fingers crossed, it will be better. It's quite windy. It's due to rain all day long from about 11 o'clock when the park officially opens. However, we've seen the big one going round. So we're going to start here because I don't think it's going to see out the day. I could be wrong, but we didn't go on it last time and we really want to get on it this time. Now, we have been watching the app over the last sort of few days. So we do know there are some rides which are sadly closed at the moment, which includes Revolution, another ride we didn't get on during the summer and really want to get on, and some of the other rides as well. But fingers crossed that availability isn't too bad today. And quite honestly, if it's 5-minute queues as it was when I checked yesterday, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. But our first start hopefully will be currently the UK's tallest roller coaster since 1994, the big one. Whilst it might be broken in the next year or so, at the moment this bad boy is the one, and we can see the chain going. We've seen it going round, so we're going to get on it early before doing anything else. Park's open day between 11 and 5, so it's not a massive long day, but I think that will be enough if it's quiet. You know, some rides aren't opening until 2. And Enzo as well will be on the track from 2 o'clock. So yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But we're going to start with this, the big one. Front row's got to be done. A fantastic ride there, front row ride on the big one. That is flying around the track. Back 3 cars are blocked off with sandbags. I don't think it's too unusual, to be honest. It is very windy up there. However, although we had to wait for people to come on there, we're not going to have to wait for people to come on Icon, because this thing can launch with however many people, and there's no queue at all. That is a lot done in the first sort of half an hour. So we had front row of the big one, as we said, flying around the track. Really enjoyed that. We then went from there to back row of Icon. I love Icon. I really love Icon. I think it's a fantastic ride. I don't understand the criticism that it gets. It's only on one train, but that's really all that's needed. And then we went over to Avalanche and did front row of Avalanche as well. Another cracking ride. You can see they are actually up on the Revolution. It's not due to open today, but hopefully anyone coming for the late night weekends will get to ride it there. That's 3 coasters done in 30 minutes. It looks dead here at the park, doesn't it? Can't see another person anywhere. Amazing. Very rarely happens at Blackpool when we come. We see it a lot at Chessington, Fort Park, but not so much at Blackpool. No complaints from me. No complaints from me at all. I can get on Wallace and Gromit as many times as I like today. But first, wasn't a very comfortable ride on this last time, but we're going to give Big Dipper another go. The famous ghost train of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and that's the first time I've been on it in ages, because every time we've come it has been so busy here, but not today. Look, no one there, and this is one of the very few rides which is actually open all day long. There's a lot of rides that are opening at like 12 and 1, which includes Wallace and Gromit doesn't open till 1. There's a lot of rides which shut at sort of 1 and 2 in the children's rides, Carousel, Eddie Stobart. So we're having to plan the day sort of around that. We've seen on the app actually there are a few rides closed. Hold on a sec, because I did have a look. Doesn't remember my preferences, which is a little bit annoying. Alright, so obviously Icon, Big One, Big Dipper open. Grand National is currently closed. It doesn't have an opening time, so we'll have a look. We'll have to go and have a look at that. The Streak is closed all day today. Revolution is closed all day today. Silver Chase opens at 12. Ice Blast is closed all day today. In addition, Wallace and Gromit opens at 1. The Grand Prix is closed all day today. Skyforce doesn't open until 12, nor does Splash Bash. Unfortunately, the Pleasure Beach Express is closed today as well, and I do love that. Dora is closed today. Eddie Stobart closes early. The Impossible is closed today. The Gallopers is open from 2 o'clock, so that's quite late. The Carousel is closed today, and the Alpine Rally is closed today. So there's quite a lot closed at the park. However, the big rides, particularly ones we want to get on, an Icon and Big One, we've already done. Now, before coming here, we did go on the Big Dipper. I did front row on the Big Dipper. It's not as bad as it was during the summer when we were closer to the back. It's definitely got some buoyancy about it, but the airtime at the front was fantastic, genuinely fantastic. I don't think we got enough airtime coasters in this country. And you know, I'm not saying that's right up there with the best of them by any means, but a good airtime on it. And then over to the Ghost train. It's got a couple of new bits in there since we last come in, but the good thing is with no queue, we can come back later and go on it. A great ride there on Alice. A little snippet for you, because obviously we're not supposed to be filming in there. So a little snippet for you of Alice, which is a bit quiet around the first half. The music was a bit louder around the second half. First half was really, really quiet, but I love that ride. It's so trippy and brilliant. Now you might be able to hear, they are working on Valhalla. Now we said during the summer that maybe if it did open, it would open as sort of a tester in October if it was ready. But since then, Amanda did put on Twitter that there has been a parts delay for some key parts, which is the reason why it's not open, not because they don't want to open it. It's been a quite successful year around the country for theme parks, so I imagine it would have been good to get it open this year. But we're not going to see it now realistically. Well, we're not going to see it now till next year. There's no realistically at all. It's already sort of mid-October, so there's no way that that is opening this year, which is a bit of a shame. But it is good that when we come, although we can see bits that have been done, you know, we don't need to show you over the fence. It's been well documented. We can hear people inside working on it, and we can see people out and about. So they are desperately trying to get the ride up and running, even now late on in the season, rather than just leaving it for a couple of months until the park is shut. We did say also that Ice Blast is closed. That is currently raised in the air. No sign of life to that today. That's all right, because it's got to 12 o'clock now, so we can head back round and see if Grand National's open. We can also go on Skyforce and a couple of other rides in preparation, obviously for the best ride in the park, Wallace and Gromit, which opens at 1. I still find this one of the strangest rides I've ever been on. Still don't really get the Tunnel of Love part. I have to say though, some of the old animatronics are fantastic. And it's surprisingly big in here. Now you may be able to see, it has indeed started raining here at the Pleasure Beach. Which, let's face it, isn't that unusual. It usually rains when I get to the Pleasure Beach. That said, so, just been on Grand National, front row on Grand National. It was, I don't think it was as smooth as it was during the summer when I went on it. And there's still a little jolt, and it really does hurt my head, but it's not as bad as it used to be, in honesty to you. And then of course into the river caves, which is a travel through the ages. However, I still don't really get it. It seems a massive, massive space for what it is. But there we go, there we go. Big one is still going round. It is raining, and I'm going to hit Skyforce. So close, yet the weather, unfortunately, is not allowing it to operate at the moment. So sadly, not yet. But I do want to get on Skyforce today. I do like Skyforce. So I'll keep an eye on it, keep an eye on what the weather does. I have to say, big one is flying around. Absolutely flying around. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on what that's doing and hopefully come back to it. Apart from Steeplechase and Wallace and Gromit, we're pretty much on re-rides, which I love at 12:30 on a day at Pleasure Beach. The Enzo train is being introduced to the track, so it's just failed its launch. And I thought it rolled all the way back, but seemingly, I guess it has to be manually brought back. Oh look! Look, the track's moving. fascinating. So it's going down on one train, which is just the Enzo train. Now another great ride on Icon. Can't get bored of it, just can't get bored of it. The Enzo train's on now. We're just showing you some footage of the trains being swapped over. It's not something I've ever caught. I appreciate they never start with the Enzo train on the track, so anyone that comes will have seen it. It's just really weird that they take the train out of sort of the first area, put it into the back area, and then take the train off, put it in the first area. So I'm guessing the first area is the area they do most of the maintenance on. But still love an Icon, running really quick in the rain as well, in fairness. It's hard to resist a good crispy creme on a wet day in Blackpool. Sadly, Wallace and Gromit is closed. However, it is quiet here. There are 3 hours until close. You can probably hear the coasters in the background. I think there's some more coaster riding to be done yet. It may be raining really hard, but you might see Icon there, and indeed big one about to drop. As you can see, there is only the 2 front cars open. To be fair, it's really not that busy, even with the 2 front cars open. Only waited 1 train. It's going to fly over here in just a second. Sorry if there's water on the lens. I've got a little bit of a soft spot for the big one. And it is running actually really well today, especially given the weather conditions. Not even too slowly, look. So I think with the big one, some of the new track we hadn't experienced yet. It's I don't know, it just seems to be like an extra sort of push, particularly on the one down at the bottom by the hotel. It really does seem to thump you into that corner, which it never used to do. Puts a lot of pressure on you. I can kind of understand why the track needed replacing. I never remember it being like that though. See the Enzo train on? Hardly anyone on Icon. I think I'm going to go and do Icon again.
bastard.
I am a huge fan of Skyforce. If you know how to work it, it can be a really, really intense ride, and I mean really intense ride. So I've gone on it first time and oddly spun anti-clockwise first, which is really unusual for half the ride before managing to switch halfway through. If you don't catch it just right, it can be a disappointing experience, but I'm quite good at catching it. So first time around I got 33, I decided that wasn't enough, and I went back on and I couldn't catch it straight away. You'll see highlights from both of them in the video. Yeah, couldn't catch it quite straight away, and 24. The cycle seems a lot shorter than it was even during summer. During the summer I managed 38. It wasn't even windy. I love it, absolutely love it. But that's me on Skyforce. My highest is 87 back in the day when it used to have quite a long cycle. Post your scores below, I want to know how many spins you can do. So it is absolutely tipping down with rain still, but you know, we've been here, I would say, when the weather's been slightly better, and this hasn't been open due to winds. So it can't be that windy today, even though it's raining. I think this is the 4th time for Big One. I don't think I've ever done that on my trips to Blackpool. This is undoubtedly the quietest day I've ever had, and I am definitely making the most of this empty station. Massive kudos to the park. It is absolutely tipping down with rain, but rides are still running. The Big One's still going round, Infusion's still going round, Icon with the lights still on is flying round the track. So what have I learnt today? Well, I have to say, Icon in the rain is a different animal. It really is a different animal. I quite enjoy it being quick anyway, but add the rain into it, the first half of the ride definitely is far more noticeably quicker. A good example for that is the inline sort of inversion, which it usually provides quite a lot of hang time, but not today. When it's raining, you fly through that, fly around this bit here before going through the second half, and it just picks up a bit of pace. I can tell you well that front row Icon, which I've done a couple of times now, is quite painful in the rain. Actually, arguably haven't had that kind of pain since I went on stealth in a hailstorm. Yeah, it just sort of batters your face all the way around, but I have to say, worth it. Worth it. Some decoration ready for Halloween. Journey to Hell here at Blackpool. They are advertising some mazes and things as well. So yeah, it's been a really good day. It's been absolutely soaked the last couple of hours, but we've still been riding the roller coasters. We've been in the dark rides, back in Alice, back in the Ghost Train, Icon, a couple on the Icon actually, Big One. Yeah, we've been sort of everywhere, and sadly, although advertised to open at 1 between 1 and 5, the signs were quickly removed, and Wallace and Gromit isn't opening. I think it'll be the first time I've ever come to Blackpool Pleasure Beach without going on Wallace and Gromit, and I was so looking forward to no queues on it today as well. Now, since we got here, actually, the cogs are going round and the hands are moving, and you can see them going, all the cars going round, so I don't know what the problem is, but they have been running it. We've been checking backwards and forths sort of the last hour or so, and it's now, you know, gone 4 o'clock. And sadly it's not opening, and I'm gutted, absolutely gutted. However, we have got on a lot of rides today, and I mean a lot of rides today. I've never ridden the Big One and Icon so much in a day, let alone all the other dark rides, and you know, Skyforce a few times as well. I've never ever done it, so I'm really pleased the park are open on quiet days, even though there is a few closures in noticeably that we would go on. Revolution, the Nick Streak, obviously Wallace and Gromit. There are, you know, big closures for me, but keeping the Big One open in this weather, massive kudos to the park. So it is raining, and we're going to call it a day now, to be honest with you, and we'll sign off inside the park, but it seems, you know, the more fitting thing to do. I really hope you've enjoyed it today. We've had an amazing time here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and we've managed to get on so many rides. Definitely value for money. Blackpool is open right the way till the end of November, so it's open for a long time yet. We've got no Valhalla, that looks like that'll be next year, but if you're coming to Blackpool, let us know in the comments how you found it. We've had a great time, an absolute great time. I love it here, I just love Blackpool, even when it's raining. I'm soaked to the bone, I don't really care, to be honest with you. Thank you for joining us here on UK Theme Parks. My name's Adam, and we'll see you next time.